This ain't no disco.
This ain't no country club neither.
This is RVA.
Welcome back, everybody. It seems like it's been forever.
I know. O Lala in the dungeon. Episode 14. Liz.
Crazy.
It's been a while since we heard your voice. What have you been up to?
A lot. Matt and I had a whirlwind 2 weeks. We traveled to Manchester, England for our friends Lindsay and Adam's wedding. It was so amazing. We felt
fabulous.
Thank you. We felt so prim and proper in our fascinators and suits. It was in a little village outside of Manchester called Oldham, and was giving serious Pride and Prejudice vibes, or Wuthering Heights. We went for a walk, and I said I was wuthering. For real, it was hot, but
It's hot in
it does actually. The food, the friends, and the dancing were all fire. Best wedding I've been to besides my own. Love you, Lindsay and Adam, if you're listening to this.
Liz got married in Hawaii, so hers was pretty lit.
Then we went to Marrakesh, Morocco. Highlights included cooling off in the pool. The average temp was 110 to 114, so that was about. Exactly. That's why it was so cheap, though. Riding camels. Shakira was mine, and Limon was Matthew's.
Shakira.
That's right. I kept saying that while I was riding. And then, what else? The Yves Saint Laurent house, I say, is definitely a must-go-to. If anyone follows me on Instagram, those were all those beautiful blue and yellow pics I posted that just happened to go with the outfit I was wearing. What can I say? It all worked out. I did not. I bought that scarf in Manchester. I didn't even have it. So, yeah. Then we hopped on another plane and went to Sevilla, Spain, and then Malaga. Highlights from Spain were, of course, the food, the tapas. Oh, my God. They were amazing. The sangria. Relaxing by the ocean with an ice cold beverage, and no trip is complete without me getting into a freaking accident.
Yep.
Or multiple ones. Yep. So, of course, in Malaga, I was like, I see all these people riding bikes along the boardwalk. Like, it looks pretty easy and fun. So we go to rent bikes, and the guy tells us, actually, there's only portions of the boardwalk you can ride in. Then you have to get into a bike lane. Okay, well, I'm thinking like bike lane in America, like it's a little separate area. No, you were in with like giant buses, like huge trucks. It was really scary. So then there was this really narrow part, and there were people coming one way and us going the other. And we were separated by the traffic at this point, thank God, by a guardrail. Well, I freaked out by the people coming towards me, and I overcorrected, and I rode right into the guardrail. So I have a nice upper thigh scar
where your injury came from.
To match the neck.
Yes, to match my neck. You know, scars tell stories, right?
That's the story I'm sticking by.
That's right. Then when we got back, the fun just didn't stop. It was my dad's birthday on July 3rd and my uncle's on the 7th. So we went to dinner at my dad's Saturday and then had a delicious champagne brunch at the Jefferson on Sunday. I hadn't been in years, but I forgot it is unlimited cava included in the price. You can upgrade it. And let's just say I drank and ate so much I slept the rest of the day. So everyone should splurge at least once a year and go to the Jefferson for brunch, I say.
Yet to go.
And sit on the bottom floor. Sitting upstairs is a pain in the ass because you have to take your plate up and down. So sit on the bottom like we did this last time.
Yeah.
Pro tip. All right. What about you, Olivia?
Oh, Lord. I've been busy, too. Okay, so I traveled back to New York, where I'm from, if you don't know, and I attended Salem 6 Hours of the Glen at Watkins Glen International, which is one of the most prestigious sports car races in North America, and the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship.
That's a mouthful.
I know. It was my first time there, surprisingly, because it's where I grew up and I've never been. My stepdad's best friend is is also best friends with the person who owns the Lexus racing team. So we scored VIP tickets, and my mom and I got to hang out with the Lexus drivers' girlfriends and wives in the air-conditioned lounge, and it was so hot, so thank God. We had complimentary wine. We had catered food. We felt like royalty. And Lexus ended up winning both of the races, so we got to celebrate with them at one of my favorite walk-ins restaurants, Seneca Lodge. And we got to meet all the winning drivers and their crew. And I got hit on by one of the drivers, and he kissed my hand, and my brother saw, and he got pissed. And my brother was like, I want to put a steak knife through that guy's neck.
Oh my
I was
God.
like, oh my God, it's a relax. Nothing happened. I'm not a slut. And also, I'm happily in a relationship. So anyway, what was I going to say? Let me find my place here. So then after the race, I drove back to Virginia, got my boyfriend, and then we drove back to New York to spend the 4th of July with my family. We relaxed on our boat. We saw fireworks at the Showboat Motel, which is this infamous lakeside bar. We did wineries with some of my Richmond friends that came to visit. Shout out to Amy, Alejandro, Corinne, and John. Sadly, Liz couldn't be there. It was weird without her. We also ate really well. We ate at the Decoy, another one of my favorite restaurants, in Gerlando's, which has the best pizza. We also climbed the gorge at the Watkins Glen State Park. It was super hot, but the gorge kept us nice and cool. And then we got organic ice cream at the Spotted Duck, which was Haroon's favorite thing that we did. And then I also had, this is funny to say,
TMI.
I had my first colonoscopy yesterday. And it went actually really well. I was so scared, and I don't remember any of it. Shout out to
Propofol?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what was my drug list?
Propofol.
I love Propofol.
Ask for it by name.
So did Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson, I love you. So if I'm proclaimed celiac, bye bread, and I have one thing to say to that. So that's what I did. Lee, take it away.
Let's see. What did I do? Well, I went to see. Let's see. What did I do? Gosh, I went to the RVA Horror Club. We saw Insidious, the last
wanna see it so
one, the Red Door.
I want to see that one.
Saw a friend of mine perform music for the first time in many years. Tracy Mustaine. She's a singer. She plays guitar and sings here in Richmond. I gave her her first guitar lesson back in 1983.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so she's not doing that. But the real event that I have to tell you about. There's a music teacher here in Richmond, and she's very well connected, and she has something she calls Voice Club, and she invites musicians. It's by invitation only, and you go there, and it's like I've never been in a room with so much talent in my life.
Wow.
I mean, we have opera singers, we have concert pianists. It's like
Pianists.
I have everything from folk to from bluegrass to opera to classical. And we had a bass player from India who was just incredible.
Wow, that's cool.
And
Who is this woman? I need to know.
And I'm going to ask her if she wants to be on the show.
Ooh, yeah.
Yes.
And the national champion mandolin player was there.
Ooh.
And it's like I was just embarrassed because it's like I thought I played pretty good, but all these people just played their instruments. It's incredible. And
Well, you know you're in the right room when there's people that are better than you.
Yeah.
That's what I always say.
Yeah, well, that's how I feel in every room. Everyone's better than me.
No,
Oh.
that's not true.
Yeah, so that's all I've done. Movies, music, and that's about it.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Liz, we have some lovely ladies in this room. Shall we introduce
Let
them?
me introduce our guests. We have the lovely Taylor Patera and Amber Kay. Taylor, who is here in the flesh this evening, not just in spirit. As we first thought, is founder / CEO of e-commerce boutique Taylor. That's Tailor. Born and raised in Richmond, Virginia, Taylor attended Virginia Commonwealth University, go Rams, whoop, where she received a Bachelor of Arts in Fashion Merchandising. After a brief stint working in the fashion industry, she knew she wanted to be her own boss, and Taylor was born. Then Miss Amber Kay, is a photographer based in RVA. She's photographed many genres over the years, but absolutely fell in love with photographing teen and high school senior girls. By some lucky chance, she found herself also photographing a few fashion bloggers and boutiques in Richmond. She had been dreaming of putting together a fashion show featuring teen girls as models to really prove to them that all girls are supermodels. Hell yeah. So it was the perfect So it would be the perfect pairing of fashion and teens. Wear RVA was born out of a dream, hard work, a want to give back to the community, and meeting a few of the right people. Alas, through networking, Taylor and Amber met one another, and the rest is history. So please give a warm welcome to Taylor and Amber.
We need the big applause. The big applause.
Yes. Bigger, better.
And the
guys
crowd
for having
goes
us.
wild.
Yeah, thanks for having us. I mean, one thing I'm going to say real quick is we need to update our bios on our website. We really do. Changed.
Oh, okay. Fill us in.
Oh, I mean, who wants to go first? Yeah, maybe I should start by asking, where'd you get those bios? No, I think they're from our website. No, I think they fully are.
We
That's the
stalked
sad
you.
part, right? So what has changed? I have hung up my hat as a e-commerce brand. So I did
Erase
that.
that from your mind.
Hung it up.
Just forget about that. That was 6 years of my life, though. So, yeah.
Kudos to that.
Yeah, so closed my business at the end of 22, or what year is it? Gosh, end of
know.
21, okay? 22, I was pregnant. So things slowed down a bit, and since I've pivoted to social media marketing, content creation, styling, all of the creative fun stuff, so
Ooh.
pivoted a little bit.
Excellent. Still goes with Wear RVA, though.
Absolutely.
Obviously.
Yeah, honestly, everything still like 100%, works together. I'm still a photographer, kind of pivoting where my business is going to, and I don't know how much we say, but we're embarking on another new adventure together.
Ooh.
And we're super, I'd say we're stoked.
I think we can spill the beans.
Oh, we can spill the beans?
Spill the beans. We're
so-
excited.
Spill.
It's accountability.
Yeah, it is. It'll make us have to do it, right? So
This is a scoop, people.
I know.
You
So
heard it first here.
Taylor and I are opening a new creative agency. So
Ooh.
under one roof, it will be photography, but it'll be content creation. Not as much social media management. We both do social media management on the side. So what we have, you know what I mean? That will fall under, but mostly like styling, content curation, photo shoots under one roof. So again, so like if you came to us and you're like, hey, we need a new brand shoot be like, give us your ideas. And then we kind of take that ball and roll with it. So if you need models, if you need professional hair and makeup, if you need a location,
We need that.
yeah, and you need like all the video content,
See all that.
behind that. Taylor's like so awesome with that. And then I'll take all the stills that go with that. So anyway, we noticed kind of a gap in the industry. There's marketing agencies, there are PR agencies, but there's not really a creative agency in Richmond that you can go to for like, I don't want to say one-stop shopping, but I think sometimes when you're trying to put so many things together, it gets hard and you don't know where to start. So obviously we'll work with brands, we'll work with companies. I think we would like to do a lot of marketing campaigns. So like, hey, our Q4, campaign for blah, blah, blah is,
Right.
and then we'll go forward with that. So that's probably our big,
That's awesome.
So exciting.
Do you have a name for it yet?
we do.
We do. It's called Curated Chaos.
Ooh, I like
That
that.
sounds like my life.
It sounds like ours.
We can relate.
I feel ya. Well, we were at the 2023 Wear RVA fashion show. Added bonus, my goddaughter Kate walked in the show. Yay.
It was so much
What's his
fun.
name?
Nicholas.
Oh, yeah. Why didn't I put that together? I mean, because we were like, well, how, you know what I mean? Like, how,
Yeah.
you always
What's
want to
the
know, like, how
connection?
did y'all get there? Like, what was,
Oh, and I was interviewed in the show because I went over and gave one of our cards to one of the MCs, and then they randomly picked, they were like, oh, we just talked to you, blah, blah, blah. And I was like,
yeah, no, I love that. Well, it's not a problem with the show. I think Taylor and I are so busy doing all the other things. We don't even know all of what
it's happening. Yeah.
like happens during the show. But that's all. I love it.
We had so much fun, by the way. It was beautiful. We loved the theme. It was Alice in Wonderland.
We took tons of pics out there.
No, Liz.
Step repeat.
Liz took that video. That really
y'all,
cool
that was
video.
literally the best video. We
Oh,
were tagged
thank you,
in
thank
the
you.
whole time.
You saved us. Little side note: our videographer was a no-show that night.
Oh my God! Why even have
we
more
got-
video if you need
But
that?
I mean, our paid-for, contract-signed videographer didn't show.
What the heck?
I
Well,
had some words.
We had words.
We're not shouting them out in
No.
this episode.
We won't say either way, but let us just know that when I saw your video, I
Liz,
was
videographer.
I'm like, please send them, text them to me.
You played a big role, so thank you.
Oh,
Yeah, that video rocked, Liz.
thank you. It's because I had several glasses of wine. It made my arm a lot steadier.
Who? Okay, we'll get into some like foundational questions, but who came up with the theme?
Okay, so Taylor and I have this thing where we both just roll crazy over the top ideas off of each other. So I think sometimes at the end of the day, we don't even know
We're not sure who
like
comes up with
where
what.
the theme comes. I do know that at some point we had this Alice in Wonderland theme in our head. I couldn't tell you who came up with it, how we came up with it. One night I'm sitting at home by myself, and I sent Taylor a message that was like probably this long, and I think she was asleep because she didn't text me back. And I'm like, oh shit. She hates my idea. She doesn't want to rain on my parade. She knows I'm going to be so sad if she's like, no, Amber, that's dumb. But I was like, what if? And I kind of like talked through things. She's like, that's a great idea, but maybe we could like just tone it down a little bit, Amber. Maybe. And I'm like, okay. So the whole thing kind of just came out of like us like 100% going back and forth with each other. What about this? No, what about that? Like, what about this?
Yeah, and funny enough, we had pitched 3 completely different themes to our girls. One was Hollywood glamour, Y2K. What was the third one? Oh, just like a spring, like very flower power
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Ooh,
And we went with none of those.
Something else.
So,
Why not?
did you guys decorate? Was it you two, or did you hire someone in to decorate? Because we loved that archway when you first walked in.
We will give big shout outs to Leah with
Bubbly Event Company. She is local to Richmond, and she is fabulous. I actually went to college with her. Yeah, so she has a great events business, and she did all of our decor when you first entered. We had a huge balloon arch. It was all very Alice in Wonderland-esque. We had a hedge wall and
the hedge wall.
some tea, like set up, and it was just over the top, amazing. So thank you, Leah.
yeah.
Took a really good selfie in that.
The light.
I know, it was
coming in
perfect.
there. It was just perfection. I think what we told her was, hey, it's Alice in Wonderland theme, and we really, whatever, it's it's the same, wanted an arch that people had to physically walk through, like not just on the side. I'm like, I want when you're entering through the archway, and she's like, game, got it.
Liz and I immediately were like, oh my God. we need
I
to
know.
take
Well, I
pictures.
was like, but we're getting out of the drink line. I was like, lady, do you mind if we jump back into this spot after we're done taking these pictures? Because I want a glass of
We
wine.
need wine.
Yeah.
So I can
After
take better
finding where to
videos.
park, we needed one.
I like it. But yeah, so for the rest of the decorating, I mean, we did that. I mean, obviously we got Leah to do that. Let's see, Braun,
The flower guy,
the
Braun.
Flower Braun did all of our like VIP lounge and our VIP tables.
He's with the event house. And then the on-stage decor was sort of a collaboration with Shoutouts.
Stephanie with Autumn Hunter Design custom built the pink pergola on site.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Nice.
And then she put up some of the flowers, and then Taylor had approximately 599 boxes of fake flowers delivered to her home.
Wow.
And we had
so much fun.
a bunch. Well,
It's plenty fun. It's also plenty stressful.
and then we had all these volunteers, and we're like, hang the flowers. And then we come back, we're like, those aren't right. Like, move them this way.
Ooh, we also spray painted branches this year.
yes.
We
All
got
those branches coming out.
Oh, yeah.
So Taylor's cutting branches from her mom's house. I'm cutting branches from my other house. And I'm like, how long are your branches? And she's like, I don't know. How long are your branches? And then we're like,
That's what she said.
yeah, exactly. We're like spray painting them. I'm like, how many spray cans have you gone through? And so anyway, it's always a thing. We're always crafting literally something at the last minute.
Yes.
It makes it fun, I'm sure.
It's never a dull moment. That's for sure.
Well, it went flawlessly.
Well, thank you.
I know. Yeah, we really enjoyed it. I'm sure we'll be back.
Oh, we will.
Oh, we'd love
Maybe we'll be MCs.
Hey, you know what? There's a position open.
There's always a position open. We don't want to.
We'll work for one.
What do you think?
We don't want to like MC the whole thing. Like
Yeah,
we
it's a
are
lot.
fine doing like an opening, doing like intermission, closing. We like that part of it.
Yep.
But I think just emceeing our own show is
It's too much with having to deal
lot.
with what's happening backstage and everything, getting the girls ready, I'm sure.
we've emceed a few fashion shows, but we're like not our own. Like
Yeah.
just not our own.
Well, I want to go back into time a little bit and dig into y'all's pasts.
Cool.
All right, Taylor, we know you're from Richmond.
I sure am.
You went to VCU. Where did you go to high school?
I went to Deep Run.
Oh,
They're an old short pump.
yes, yes. If we were closer in age, with obviously I'm decades older than you, given that information, we would have gone to the same school because I grew up in Cross Creek.
I lived next door in Cambridge,
Oh my God.
which I don't know when Cambridge came about.
Yeah, I
but-
think it was being built like
Yeah.
when I was leaving the vicinity, but my parents are still out that way. Not in
Oh,
Cross
that's
Creek,
great.
but they're like right next to All Shucks or whatever
yeah.
that gas station is now.
West End girls.
That's right.
Shout out to Mike Newman.
Woohoo.
Then go.
That's right. That's my stepdad's favorite song.
Oh, okay.
That was really random. But Amber, where are you from originally?
Originally, I'm from Michigan, a little teeny tiny town in southeast Michigan. So I kind of grew up in Michigan. I lived a couple of places. Other than that, went back to Michigan, lived in a few more places.
What brought you to VA?
Ex-husband was military, and we were stationed in Hawaii, and then from Hawaii, stationed in Northern Virginia.
Nice.
And yeah, from there, it's all history. You know.
Did you study photography?
I did. So I started out hobby. Like a hobby is photography. Funny enough, my dad is the one who taught me photography. I remember developing slide film in his bathtub.
Oh, wow.
I did slide film in college.
Yes.
It was awesome.
It's awesome, right?
Except
So-
I got locked in a dark room one time.
I've never been locked in a dark room. But so I started out like that. My dad taught me basics. Like then growing up in my life, I just always then took the family pictures, I guess you would say. Fast forward to I had kids. And I was like, oh, I should probably take pictures of my own damn children. So I got a real camera again, right? A real camera.
Yep.
And of course that was, I'm old too. So that was before iPhones and like that kind
Yeah.
of thing. And then I had a couple of friends that were like, hey, you take really great pictures. Will you do like a modeling portfolio? Will you do this? So I decided at that point to go back to, I guess, like adult night school, like community college, but at night. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. It was photography class, and it was all black and white, and it was film. And it was a black and white darkroom. So I fell back in love with the art of photography,
Sure.
and I took the class like 4 or 5 times in a row, but only for the darkroom. So I'm like, I don't want to take your damn class. I'll pay you for the class, but I'm not sitting in here. I'm just going to use all of your chemicals
Right.
and do that. So then I started a little side business. And then I moved to, and I was actually, that photographer hired me to second shoot weddings with him. Yeah, and he taught me a little bit about,
Black and white?
oh, and we used some color too, but we didn't develop that ourselves. But that was like medium format, mostly medium format film, some 35 mil. Then fast forward, I moved to Hawaii. What do you do in Hawaii? Well, everybody's in Hawaii wants damn pictures, right? So I was like, I'll make some money on the side. And did like family pictures. So then I moved back to Virginia, and I decided, or not back, to Virginia for the first damn time. And I was like, listen, I want to go to school. Like, and I want to finish my arts degree. So I did my BFA in photographic imaging, but it was more like the commercial side of photography. Mm-hmm. So I have experience like hobbyist. I have experience with like just learn on my own, but then I do actually have a BFA in fine art photography.
I have a BFA in fine arts too, but not in photography.
I do too.
It's like
In English.
it's like the one degree that gets you nowhere. Like
I don't know.
Literally.
I mean, hopefully
I
better for
agree.
you, but like nothing
It
like
went well for me.
an $80,000 degree.
I
that I'm
know.
like,
My mom was like, you will get a bachelor's. I'm like, great.
So we're all
Working at McDonald's.
Yeah,
artists
we're
majors.
all
Fashion
artists.
merchandising.
I was
That's
just
cool.
about to ask you, so you did fashion and merchandising. Okay. What year did you graduate?
Oh, I graduated VCU 10 years ago, 2013.
Okay. I went back. I was a nurse for years, and then I totally changed and went back for English and graduated in 2015. So I guess we overlapped a little bit.
We sure did.
Yep. And I would love to go back again.
Ooh, for what?
I think I would do more. I kind of want to do like art history and become like a buyer or work at a, place. What am I thinking? I'm having a brain fart. Yeah, a gallery. Yeah, I was like, what do you call those? Those. Yeah,
What are
that's
those
what I'd like.
places?
I don't know. I love traveling, so I'm actually taking a class now to become a travel agent. So
Good for
who
you.
knows?
I
I can plan a trip to Marrakesh for you guys.
yes, I'm in. I would go back to school tomorrow if it were paid for.
Yep, me too. That's the only
It's
thing.
just like the money for the fact that I only want to do it to expand my brain and because I'm a total nerd.
I know. I love learning.
I do. I love school. I'm a
Yeah.
weird person.
Me too.
I'm in school right now too. I'm taking a course for UX design, user experience.
Okay. I don't know much. So like on web, like user experience as far as like.
You can have it with anything, but I'm web concentrated
Got it,
because I'm a
okay.
web designer full time. So it's all about making things accessible and equitable for everyone, no matter like if you're disabled, if you are
Like if you're
like
deaf
your
or-
race, or you're deaf, or you're transgender, like making everything accessible for everyone and
Okay.
making it equal.
Very
I really like it.
Yeah, I like that.
Especially as like I do graphic design at like as my side hustle, and then I'm a web designer full time. So like I feel like it's a good field to bring it all together.
Yeah, I love it.
But anyway, back to Wear RVA.
Women rule the world.
There we go.
All right. So, blah, blah, blah. Hold on. Going back to photography, like, what are some of your favorite Richmond places to shoot? Because we got to keep this RVA.
That's a good question. I will be completely honest. Like, as a photographer, when you've photographed at the same place enough times, it gets a little boring. And
Yeah,
since
like-
we're all creative here, like, the creative process doesn't love a lot of repetition or the same thing over and over again. So I can say I love certain places, but I'm over them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
So since the
Like Maymont.
Libby Hill.
Thank you. That was the second one to name. So since my primary business up till now has been high school senior portraits, as long as I've been here in Richmond, there are like very specific, obviously Maymont, we have Libby Hill, Shiplock Park, which is just down the hill, is amazing. I have a rooftop that shall go unnamed in Chaco Bottom. That is probably my favorite place to shoot. Like we've shot there before.
Yep.
There is a little part of Uptown, right there at VCU that has really colorful walls. That's like really pretty to shoot at. So I have little pockets that I'll like recommend to my girls because I know what the lighting's like. I know how it's all gonna work out. But
That's a plus.
yeah, more than anything, I just love shooting at new places and just like being creative.
Do you know other local RVA photographers? Because one comes to mind that photographed Liz and I. His name's David Morton. He does a lot of like the fire spinners and hula hoopers.
Okay.
I
Don't know
if
him.
you ever heard him.
No.
He's awesome.
Okay.
Maybe you guys can meet someday.
Maybe. Maybe we can fire dance.
Yeah, or keep him in mind for an event. I don't know.
I do have a question. So this is for both of you. Have you always had a passion for fashion? And at what age did you get into it and why?
You take that one first.
I'll start. My parents, grandparents love to remind me that by the age of 3, I refused to wear anything but a pretty dress. So my grandparents, who, God bless them,
cute.
they still hoard all of the clothes that I wore at 3, 4, 5, 6 years old or whatever, because they were saving them for me to have a little girl, and I have 2 boys, so I'm not sure that's going to happen. But so I would say from a very young age, and funny enough, like in high school growing up, like I always would like collage things from magazines when we still got magazines, and would cut things out that were just like cool and funky and inspiring, and I would cover like my bedroom walls, and I was under the impression that like that was not a career option. And then I went to college as a pre-dental major, which lasted like all of 4 weeks until I was like, I'm going to fashion school. My mom was like, no, you're not. But no, they supported me. But I think they're like, oh, she's kind of okay. We're spending our money on this. Like, but I think they're proud of me. I mean, my mom will remind me. She's like, oh, I didn't intend for you to do some of the
followed
things
your
that you did, but
dreams.
you've done it. Yeah, brief stint in New York in the fashion industry, and
That's awesome.
made me mean, but I came back and started my own thing, and that's where my e-commerce brand was born. So
That reminds me of my story too. I'm not going to go into it because we are on limited time, but I also went to school for something I didn't want to do. I wanted to, for teaching, and I wanted to be a graphic designer, but I didn't have like any idea like how it would happen. I didn't think there was a market for it, and I just followed my dream. I decided one day I'm just going to do it. I don't care because this is what makes me happy, and it all worked out.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yay.
Follow your dreams.
Yay for us.
Yeah.
Even if you go back to school 50 times like
Yep.
And me.
And
Hey,
keep
yeah.
going back.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
I don't know that I fell in love with fashion or anything to do with it until like I had moved to Richmond and I had started photographing. Well, I needed a stylist, or I thought I needed a stylist. Thought that would up my game with like my seniors. And then that kind of got me into like the Richmond fashion scene a little bit. So Taylor and I had met, which you probably heard at Wear RVA. We met at a networking event that was for like fashion bloggers in Richmond. It was a very small scene. And I was like the only
can
one that
imagine.
wasn't like technically wasn't into fashion, right? I was just a photographer, but I was like, I need to go along.
Correlates.
I need
Yeah.
to photograph some of these things. And so we had been talking, introduced myself, and I'm like, so you're into fashion? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm into photography. She's like, yeah, okay. And I'm like, do you want to start a fashion show? And she's like, I've known you for 10 minutes.
Oh, barely. Like,
Barely. And she's like, hit me up at the first of the year and we'll see. So I got her information, and literally like January 2nd, I'm like, what do you think about this fashion show? And she's like, sure, let's do it. Been fast friends and business partners ever since. So that kind of like launched me into that world. And then I think through Taylor is how I really got in, you know what I mean, to all of the other things that Wear RVA has like brought around for us.
Right. And since closing your e-commerce site, like what are you doing more? Like, I know y'all are doing another thing. Is that going to be your main focus now? Like, you guys together, or
yeah,
what's
so
the dealio?
Here's the scoop as we figured out in real time.
Yeah, right.
I think, so to be perfectly honest, pre-COVID, we literally had started and we're launching another brand. And then the doors shut down, the rug pulled out, and we were like, oh shit, now what? We all thought the world was ending and what's going to be on the other side. So
We're like, who cares? Let's drink every day.
yeah, let's eat everything and get fat and all in between. So
In pajamas for a year.
absolutely. So we were literally launching sort of a social brand that was going to encompass like the Wear RVA side of things, but we were also similarly going to do kind of what we're doing now, but I think we really like honed in and tailored it down to like what we are good at now. But it was going to be everything from events to a podcast to really whatever we thought we could throw in there, I think, in the mix. So that brand died quickly. We kept saying like, we should do something with this. Are we going to do something with this? The unknown kept us from doing
something.
it. So we feel like this is the second chance a little bit, but we've learned a lot in the last 3 years about ourselves, about our brand, and I think also like what we're good at and what people will pay us to do. So that's kind of like where we've pivoted on that. So yeah, I mean, I think like from e-commerce, I decided to close my brand because again, COVID took a little bit of a hit.
Sure.
And then I found out very quickly I was pregnant with my second son. So that was exciting. But I was like, all right, I can also take a step back right now if I want to. The timing's right. And I was fully prepared I was doing some social media management and content creation for local brands. And, pregnant bellies and showing off clothes is not like the most ideal thing. So thankfully I was wearing a lot of coats and I was covering it up. But when my son came along, I was like, I'm going to be at home with my boys. And that lasted about 6 weeks where I was like, I enjoy working and I enjoy making my own money and having a career. So I like to do both. And I'm more than just a mom, so to speak. So
And you're doing what you love too. I mean, this is like passion fueled. It's not like you're sitting in an office doing something you don't care about.
yes, I can't do the 9 to 5. And I've realized I can't be a stay-at-home mom either. I need something a little more fulfilling. Power to all you stay-at-home moms because I can't do the 24/7. Love my boys to death, but it's I need
a
something
break.
that fulfills me as far as a career and all that goes.
Excellent.
That is excellent. Okay. So this is kind of random after segueing into what you just talked about. But what is your favorite part about Wear RVA?
Oh, okay. So there's obviously over the years, I think that's waxed and waned a little bit, right? Like, what is the new favorite part? But I 100% from the bottom of my soul. It is really seeing the transformation in our girls. So we have girls, they show up to like our first practice. We do like little headshots just so we know who the hell they are, right? We'll be like, wait, who? And they're like, we're like practice walking the runway and they're like head down, you know, like shoulders.
Aww.
They're embarrassed because they're in front of
Their peers.
and us, right? So to see them from then, to see them like when you guys saw them on that damn runway, there's not a bigger change that can happen. And then the moms that like text us, that call us, that email us, that are like, I can't believe the change in confidence in my daughter. So sometimes it upsets me when people say like, well, you're built confidence through clothes. And I'm like, no, that is not it.
Right.
It is through loving who you are and people building you up. And the greatest thing is I've worked with so many teens, and teens are mean, but let's face it, women are mean. So like mean teens grow up to be mean women, and we've all dealt with them through like all the ages. So part of it is like when we're talking to these girls, like build each other up, love on each other, give each other compliments. And when we hear them backstage talking to each other, like a size 00 6-foot girl talking to a size 16 girl, like, oh my God, girl, you killed it. You look great. And we're like, what? Like, we feel like proud mommies, right?
Yeah.
That is the number one thing that I took away from Wear RVA every single year.
That was the energy, too, at the event. Like, it was so supportive. People were just, like, going nuts with every girl.
I love it. I love it.
It's amazing.
Nothing makes me happier.
And I sat next to a boyfriend of one of the models. I forgot his name. He was so cute. But I sat next to him, and his girl, he was so proud of her. He was showing me on his phone. She was like, she's been on magazines. She's so awesome. And then I waved at her family across the runway, and we had such a good time sitting next to that kid.
It was fun.
It was really fun.
Like that is 100% why I think I continue to do it every year, even when it's like, oh my God, like it's so much work. How about for you, Tay?
Definitely the transformation. I think what's been special this year, and as we've learned and evolved and things like that, is also getting that time with the girls and getting to know them a little bit better. At first, like, we didn't quite know, you know, this would be our 7th year coming up, but only our 5th show because of COVID. And initially it was like, okay, we've got 50 models, great. And the next year was 80, and like, you don't know a name and a face and all that. And many of them have come back on with us, but also just like, hey, Taylor, hey, Amber, jump in our TikTok, you know? And it's like
I saw
being cool with them. And we're like, I'm not cool enough or young enough to be in this, but being and feeling involved and like we're something special to them because they're really special to us. And I think also just totally elevating our game every year. Like,
True story.
Toot our own horn, but like we have truly every year taken it up a notch. So, or several, but.
That segues into my next question. How do you guys go about getting sponsors and all the clothes, etc.?
Well, for sponsors, shout out whoever wants to sponsor us. Hit us up at Wear RVA. Like, seriously.
O Lala.
Please.
Your money.
Yes. The first show we ever did, like, again, when I say that I asked her to do a fashion show, we didn't
know each other.
We didn't know each other, but we didn't also know anything. Like, Taylor had been to some fashion shows, right? She's in the fashion world, but like, I'm like, we need a space, right? Like, we need some, like, all of these things. So the first year we had no sponsors. We were going to try to break even we thought everybody would just donate to us because we're raising money for something.
Right.
We were not a 501c3 yet either. We took a lot away from that first year.
We learned a lot.
People won't give a shit, number one. And then number 2, we had to be a 501c3 because we were taking the tax hit. Like, all of the ticket sales were going into our, like, personal.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, that's
You gotta create
not
a
going to work
company.
with the Govy, right?
Yep.
So since then, I think we've obviously leveraged personal connections. Like, hey, I know somebody, you know somebody, reach out to all your contacts, I reach out to all mine. The last couple of years, what I think have really helped is we've gone to people that are a little more connected than us to be like, hey, who do you think might be a really good fit for our show as a sponsor? And can you give us like a personal contact instead of like info at? Like, hey, Teddy, so-and-so from so-and-so, blah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The personal connections, I think, are what got us our
100%.
sponsorship.
Otherwise, they're going to be like, delete on email. Like, who is this
I'm
person?
taking notes.
I mean, we had Mercedes this year, and we had
Markel was a big one.
Markel.
And those were both other people's like personal connections that they like somebody put us in touch with.
Yep.
And I hate to say it's name dropping.
It's who
like
you know.
fundraising
Yeah,
is
it is.
Always. Yes.
all about somebody, I know somebody, let's
Well, that's why I'm always like
connect.
the Nepo baby like argument. I'm like, please, everything is nepotism.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Come on. So let's not penalize actors and actresses. Seriously, it's like everywhere.
Let's not penalize pianists. Sorry.
Or you can if that's what you like.
But yeah, so I think personal connections, right? And the more people we network with and the more people we meet, the more doors,
Open.
ultimately that is open. And again, we've just learned a lot. Like the more you do this, the more you're like, oh, like that didn't work or that didn't work or that didn't work. Was there more to that question or did I answer it?
No, you answered it. One thing I don't think we actually covered is like, what is your mission statement and what comes with this? Like, obviously, you guys give out scholarships and stuff, but like, we haven't touched on that part. So, can you guys break that down for us?
Here's the spiel.
Yeah.
Give me the spiel.
I mean, I don't know that we have we need an elevator pitch. Like we need the 2 lines.
You
But
didn't remember the program, any of that copy. Essentially, Wear RVA is empowering young women in the community. All of our models are high school girls, so there are no tryouts, there are no auditions. It is simply a sign up. We take the first 50 to sign up every year, and with the only requirement being they have to be a high school student, and they have to be available for our mandatory dates, which include a practice, a fitting, things like that, and of course the day of event. And we are raising money for local scholarships, so it all goes back to the community. We have been giving our dollars to the Network of Enterprising Women in past years. Sadly, they are closing their chapter. Was that what you would call it?
Yeah.
Who's
And
closing the chapter?
the Network of Enterprising Women will be closing. So they will be closing next several months, and we are looking to see where our dollars will go next year.
So we're flirting with the idea of starting our own scholarship fund. We haven't necessarily wanted to do that because I never wanted to be seen like if our girls got the scholarships.
Yeah,
right?
it's like
so that
a
it seemed
conflict of interest
Right.
kind of, yeah.
But we could set up a board of directors for scholarships so we could take it like out of our hands, or is there another organization that is already giving scholarships that from one 501c3 to another, right? You know what I mean?
Yep.
That we could just pass that torch on from where we've done it in the past. That is something we really need to figure out in the next
Few months.
But I think that mission statement isn't
Gonna
going
change.
to change. I mean, there's a lot of places that we can all give our money, but I think we're just so big on like women building women, and that it starts at the younger ages. It doesn't just start at
Yes.
like 20 or 30 or 40 or 50, right? It really starts with talking to these girls when they're younger.
Yeah, I was going to say, because then, like, as coming from a nursing background, like, they're known for eating their young. Like, that wouldn't happen if you instill that, like, okay, Karen got a promotion. Like, that doesn't mean I have to hate Karen. That means I
Right.
give her props and I ask, how did you do that?
Yep.
So I can be like Karen.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I want to be a Karen. No, I'm just kidding.
Their lives. They want to be Karen.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Okay, I would like to know, can you share some of, well, I guess you sort of touched on this already, but can you again share some of your future goals or plans with Wear RVA? Where would you like to see it go? Like your biggest aspiration?
Ooh. So we already have a big venue. The Dewey Gottwald Center at the Science Museum will hold, we could probably seat 400-ish, give or take.
They're going to be crappy seats when you get to number 399.
Oh, there'd be a nosebleed section if there was any elevation in there. But I think just being able to, we've sold out every year, but to be able to sell out on a whole nother level would be incredible. Like a 500-person audience. I think that would be amazing.
Like going to Altria or something.
Yes, let's do it.
Ooh,
yeah.
that'd be cool.
Altria, if you're listening.
Yeah, right. If you're
We'll take a venue.
Obviously we'd like to get some bigger name sponsors and people that like come in so we can elevate the event even more. Obviously, the more we can elevate the event, the higher rated sponsors or whatever you want to call it. Right? You know what I mean? They can come in, and then obviously the more money we can give to scholarships. If we can do it every year and not literally be pulling our hair out, like a month before this event, I'm like, Taylor does most of the accounting side because I'm horrible with numbers. So I make her do it. So we balance and we pay people. I'm like, do we have any money? And she's like, no. I'm like, damn.
Story of my life.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, the month before, we're like, are we going to break even? Like, I don't think anybody realizes, unless you put on events like this, how much it costs
Oh, yeah.
to put on these events.
Well, just like a birthday party for my stepdad last year was almost $1,000, and that was like in the backyard.
Right.
Wow.
And inflation. You know?
Yeah.
Seriously.
You want it to be fabulous.
Exactly. So I mean, it would be great to get even some more like bigger sponsors, more sponsors. It would be nice to have some help throughout the year to like maybe do some other things too. Everybody's like, why don't you do 2 shows? And I'm like, you got an extra $35K laying around, right? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't think so.
Yeah.
Although we were talking the other day. Amber was talking.
Amber talks.
Like, what about doing a gala? Like, kind of like that, but you could still have like models come. I have this whole idea in my head. It could still be, but I think some people are
Like a ball with like a raffle or something.
something, right?
Or auction items or something. I know you.
Well, I mean, we do the silent auction, but I think
know, but
our
I mean-
silent auction falls pretty short because people are there for so many other things, right?
yeah.
So we don't make very much money off of our silent auction. It's just more of a
It's a little bonus. And
Yeah.
a little extra towards the cost.
But you could do even more, like.
we could do lots of things, right? So maybe we need a bigger board of people, directors helping us.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm like, do this, but I don't know how you're going to do it.
Exactly. But I don't know. I could see us expanding maybe if we thought it was worth it. Does that make sense? It's 100% donation of our time. So we're working 60 hours a week in a couple of months leading up.
Yeah.
To it.
And it's like taking away from our families, it's taking away from our personal businesses.
Oh, our husbands hate us during Wear RVA season, which is really truly in effect from like end of January through end of April.
I can imagine.
We're like, we're not home. And they're like, let me, my
what am I
husband.
supposed to do for dinner?
Yeah,
Like
my
you're like
husband Mike will
tax
be
people
like-
or something.
Yeah, like, guess you're going to see Taylor again. I'm like, she's my work wife. What are you talking about? Like, we
My
text
work
each,
wife.
Yeah, we text each other 85,000 times a day. I now answer the phone or she answers the phone like, good morning, love. Like, like, I haven't heard your voice in 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Good
we always
morning,
sign
beautiful. How was your night?
Exactly. We sign off and we're like, all right, talk to you in 10 minutes. Like,
That's funny. Well, I was going to say, tell us more about the Outer Banks getaway you guys have coming up.
We are very excited about that. Like, I can't believe it's like not this Saturday, but the Saturday.
gonna say 2
after
weeks, yeah.
that we're leaving. For a few years going back, I loved this idea of like these over the top, like styled photo shoots. And I had started doing them with some of my girls. And so this year we decided, instead of it being like Amber's clients, that we would open it up as a Wear RVA thing. And then Taylor was coming in for like full, again, kind of like what we're starting with the new business, but doing it just on a different level, full styling, like the content creation side of it. And I'm doing, again, the photography portion of it. Having just said that, we've also opened it up into shooting brand content for other brands. So if
cool.
it feels like on brand for you, then hey, let's make some cool shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds like fun. Outer Banks is always a good time.
come on down, you two.
Yes. Well, before that, tell us all your social stuff, like where we can find you, etc.
And how can we
And
support
we'll link
you?
it. Yes.
And the mission of Wear RVA.
Oh, how much time do we have for
Oh, Lord.
I'm just teasing you. I'll start with my personal account is my name at Taylor Patera, Pitera on Instagram. Of course, you can follow at Wear RVA. That is one word, Wear, WEAR, RVA. And then take it away.
And then my personal Insta is Hey, it's Amber K. So HEY.ITS Amber KAY is one handle. The other is at Amber K Seniors. And then the new brand.
The new brand, you can find us at curatedchaos.agency.
Okay.
Nice.
And how can the community support you guys? Just follow you, come to the events, obviously.
Yeah, the biggest thing, follow us, come to the events. When we do our model call, reach out to all of the high school girls that you know, send them our way. Be like, hey, sign up to model. It's so much fun. Buy tickets.
It looks fun. I wish I was in high school.
I know.
And then obviously, like anybody that might be interested in sponsoring. Again, we make our best connections through like, I
Word
know
of mouth,
somebody
like-
that owns this, or I know somebody that works here. And so that's like the biggest thing people really can do is just like put us in front of, other
It's a
people.
community thing.
Absolutely.
100%.
Awesome.
Speaking of
I'm
community,
feeling a little thirsty, aren't you?
so let's take a break in our interview to introduce our first, besides Lee Dungeon Studios, our first official sponsor, Coastal Spritz.
Yeah.
Coastal Spritz is amazing, you guys, because it's actually the first canned wine that I've ever liked. And it's a wine spritzer, to be exact. Today we have a box of rosé watermelon, rosé pineapple, and classic rosé. And the packaging and the bottles are adorable. It's also the only wine spritz that is made of 100% real fruit juice. It's also super low calorie, between 85 to 100 calories per can. It's gluten-free. For me, woohoo! And the max of sugar is from 0 to 5 grams. I don't know if that made sense, but that's amazing. And they are now being sold locally here in RVA. You can find them at Benchtop Brewery, Corks and Kegs, and we plan on doing some pop-up events with Coastal Spritz in the near future. So be on the lookout for us and them. I also know that Amber and Taylor might be doing something in the works with Coastal Spritz.
Yes, you guys put us in contact. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like friends.
We owe it to you.
We 100% owe it to you. So we had a really nice phone conversation with the marketing manager.
Brianna.
Yeah,
she's awesome.
so sweet.
Really long
And
conversation.
local, which
right.
is you never see, you know.
I know.
So yeah, we might be shooting some content soon.
Cool.
All right. Yay. Well,
to crack one open.
Crack one open and cheers, guys. Lee, come on.
Woo! I haven't tried this one yet. This one is the classic rosé.
Cheers.
Oh, yeah,
All right. I'm trying the watermelon spritz. So let's see here.
I've got the pineapple.
It's so light.
Oh wow. That's very real watermelon, right? Like not
Real watermelon.
not like artificially.
No.
You know what I like? The short ingredients lists. It's carbonated water, rosé wine, pineapple juice, natural flavors, and monk fruit extract. Oh, that's
Yeah,
how they
that's
get
what
the
keeps
sweetness.
the sugar low, the monk fruit. It really is just easily quaffable,
Liz, you wanna-
especially on a hot summer day.
I'm letting Liz try mine.
that
She
would be
hasn't
really
tried this
good.
one yet.
Yep, this is. I think
Sure,
this
let's
is the hottest day in Richmond so far.
Ooh.
Perfect drink for this day.
The classic rosé, I can tell you, is delicious as well.
It's just so light.
No, but
That's
isn't
what I
it,
like about it.
so it tastes like
I
a
want
real
to
watermelon.
I think I'm gonna freeze it and like have
slushy.
a little like slushy. Yes. Oh my God, slushy. Yes. All right. Thank you, Coastal Spritz. We love you.
Thank you.
Thank you for sponsoring this podcast, Coastal Spritz, and we love you. And it's legit so good, guys. You all need to try it. So
Get
head
it
on-
in your belly.
Get it in your belly. Go to Benchtop or Corks and Kegs and get you one.
Yeah.
And also, you won't gain any weight because it's so low calorie.
Unless you drink like 2 6-packs, which I could
I probably
possibly
will.
on a hot summer day.
I was gonna say
Challenge accepted.
exactly.
All right, well, on that note, let's lighten it up a little bit, ladies.
Lighting it up.
Fun question time. All right. Olivia, do you have one?
Oh, I haven't picked one yet. Hold on a minute.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, this is funny. What is the worst fashion or hair decision you've made, since we're on the fashion subject?
Ooh, okay, I got one. When Game of Thrones first came out, I thought I could go Khaleesi blonde. For those of you who can't see me, I'm very much a brunette, so that was not a thing for me. But I thought it could be, and it was just not a good.
I need to see pics now.
How long did it take for you to go back?
Let's just say I made it to banana. I did not make it much further than that.
I have not seen
You didn't go clear.
Is it hard to correct it?
Yeah, it was not good, but thankfully dark dyes over really light
Yes,
tones much
easily.
easier. So yeah.
I think I break every. I think I do all the things wrong. It really sucks to be with someone that's like so put together, like 24 fucking 7. Like I'm like, great. What's Taylor gonna wear today and look great? I'm not putting myself down. I'm just saying, like, I think I'm just really true to who I am. And I'm like,
I love your outfit right up.
like whatever. She asked me the other day.
Southern chic.
We were gonna do something, and I don't even know where we're going. She's like, so what would your ideal outfit be? And I told her, and she's like, that's super fucking specific. And I'm like, I know, but I don't have the shoes. Like, I had these very specific shoes in mind. So anyway,
She really did.
But I'm like, I think I've reached the age. And I told you this yesterday or today or someday. Or I'm like, I'm in my no fucks. Okay? I'm like, if I feel good about myself, which is what I tell all of our Wear RVA girls, feel good about yourself. If you look in the mirror and you're like, I'm fucking hot, right? At least for these 5 minutes before my makeup melts
Before
off.
I walk outside
Yeah.
and die.
And die. Then I'm cool with it, even if it's seen as like a huge, like, fashion faux pas or beauty faux pas. I just cut bangs a couple of years ago.
I love it.
I asked everybody, should I do it? And they're like, no. And I'm like, fuck it. Like,
You, I'm questioning it for me.
I know, I've been questioning it for a while.
Let's all get bangs.
hair grows back. Hair grows, right?
I challenge that.
Except for Lee.
Okay, you're 100%. Well, yeah, I messed up on that one, right? But yeah, I think I make a lot of fashion mistakes, and I'm like,
I think if you wear it with pride, like, who cares?
right.
Exactly.
You gotta own it.
The other thing is I think I've really realized in the last couple of years, people are always going to talk about you. I don't care where you go,
Yep.
what you do.
Give them something to talk
I
about.
kind of like that.
But I
though.
also feel like people everywhere don't give a shit at this point. After the pandemic, like, I could wear the most ridiculous thing and think, like, oh my God, everyone's staring at me. Really, people aren't even freaking paying attention.
I think there's that's a 50-50 and a fine line between the two. Because I think
Maybe that's in my own head.
No. I think there's plenty of people that don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But I think, and there's plenty of people that I
There's
think
bitches who do.
and I think there's plenty of people that I think don't pay attention.
Well, they can lick my butt.
Give them something to talk about.
A, give them something to talk about. If you're going to talk about me, talk about me.
What about love?
B, like every once in a while, someone will, I don't know, drop into a DM or we'll
Oh,
see
yeah.
somebody somewhere and we'll hear something and I'm like, I didn't even know that person like paid any attention.
To that.
I'm like, they've like watched everything. So there's a lot of like quiet listeners. What do we call those people?
Oh, well, stalkers? I don't know. I mean,
People who look at every single story you post but never like
Never.
anything.
That's-
I have a lot of those.
100%.
It's annoying as fuck, right?
They're just jealous.
But at least drop a comment in.
Yeah.
Lurking.
Ooh, lurkers.
Why are you looking?
Yeah. So I guess my whole point to this was like, wear what you want. And sometimes it's great. Sometimes it's not so great. But
Yep.
get up and wear something different the next day.
What about you, Lee? Any fashion faux pas you've committed?
I'm trying to think of a time I haven't. No, I the worst fashion faux pas I ever did. My wife, she used to work for a bank, and they used to hold their annual Christmas party at the Commonwealth Club.
Ooh, pinky up.
I was, we were a young couple, still kind of broke. I didn't have like, a really nice suit or anything, and so it's like, so I wore what I had, and afterwards, the vice president of the bank actually spoke to my wife and said, "Tell your husband he needs to get a better suit if he's going to come to the."
What?
Oh my
And
God.
it's like I could have died. It's like, yeah, it's like
But that's like sad, like mean.
I'd be like, well, you need to give my wife a raise.
Yeah.
give us more money.
Hey,
and then-
yeah.
Where's my money?
Then I'll buy it. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Give me my money, bitch.
This is the best the thrift store had to offer, man. That's-
My money.
Yeah. Pay me what you want me.
I'd have to say probably anytime I got a perm in the 80s was pretty bad.
I did have a lot of perms. Everybody called me Shirley Temple when I was a little kid. I'm gonna blame that shit all on my mother. Okay.
I love Shirley Temple.
Okay, I'll bring pictures next time.
My cousin for my perm, she had some sort of style, and I went home, was like, Mom, I want what Ashley had, and she's trying to guess what it is, and she says perm, and I'm like, that was it? That was not it. I guess who ended up with a perm? I did.
I gotta see this picture.
I know. I wanted to be like the Noxzema girl with her
Never, right?
ringlets like that. Yeah. And then it was like,
Yep. Uh-huh.
I look like the bride of Frankenstein. And then because my hair is so stick straight, I was afraid to comb it or brush it or anything.
Okay.
And my mom, she didn't know anything about perms, so I guess she just let me do my own thing. And then finally, I went and saw my cousin, and she was like, when was the last time you brushed your hair? And I was like, I have a perm, I can't do that. And she was like, oh, girl, come here. And then she picked it out, and
It was better.
Well, I looked like a lioness at that point, but at least there were no knots left. And that was my last foray into femme world.
I picture you probably looked like a 70s rock singer.
Yeah.
Hair metal. That's fun.
I've talked about my fashion mishaps on previous podcasts, but I have more. I used to be I wanted to be emo, but I went to a Catholic school and I wanted so bad to be like this emo girl, and I just wasn't. Look at me, I'm just not. My mom begged me. She took me out to get whatever outfits I wanted. She's a fashionista. She's like, look, you look so cute in this. Like, you should buy this. I'm like, no, I want black skinny jeans and this pink t-shirt with a raccoon on it.
Nice.
And it looked terrible, but at the time, I thought it was awesome. And also, I had another t-shirt. I loved graphic tees that said, in case of emergency, breakdance. And I wore it to my first dance in high school. And it's so embarrassing. And then I got really sweaty, and all the sweat marks were on there. And they were throwing out t-shirts. The DJ was throwing free t-shirts. And I'm like, I have to catch one to hide my sweat stains. And I caught one. Because I was like a girl at a wedding trying to catch the bouquet.
Okay. Oh, I love it.
Determination.
Yeah. You had a need.
Yep. And I got it.
Gonna get it.
Help me out.
It was God at the Catholic school.
That's funny.
I'm gonna say, if your hometown was a food, what food would it be and why?
Oh,
So easy for me.
I'm from the middle of Nowhereville.
Is Richmond like a fried green tomato or something?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
maybe.
I think I've said that before.
Oh yeah.
It's a good fried chicken town.
There you go. Fried chicken. Anything fried, really.
I honestly, no clue.
Is there a Michigan dish?
I mean, corn. Lots of corn up there.
Corn.
So,
I love corn.
we could talk about some corn.
Corn makes
I grew up on
whiskey.
a dairy farm, so maybe we could say anything with
Ooh.
milk, ice cream.
I love.
I'm a country
I love
girl, too.
cheese curds. Y'all eat
That's
cheese curds?
Wisconsin.
I know, but
Like
Same
that.
thing, right?
Unfortunately, well, not no.
does it bleed into Michigan at all?
We go to Wisconsin to get the cheese curds. And Michigan State, actually, their dairy department makes really good cheese curds.
Ooh. Now I'm
We're
really hungry.
known for casseroles, right? Midwest
Ooh, yeah.
is a big.
Like a tuna casserole? Like,
No.
Casserole.
Well,
My mom makes a really good corn casserole. I'm actually having it tomorrow night. She
Okay.
puts
Common.
the Fritos in it.
Fritos, potato chips, saltines,
Yes.
Ritz, Doritos, anything, tater tots on the top.
Ooh, yes,
But basically,
mama.
you
Anything can
take
be a casserole.
yeah, you take any creamed soup, right? You take
Cream of mushroom.
yeah, you take
Cream of chicken.
some sour cream. You take a bag of cheddar cheese,
Mix it all
and you
up.
put some meat in there, maybe.
We call it cleaning out the fridge.
Also that.
Yes.
And then you eat it.
Yeah, baby.
I remember moving to Hawaii and my friends being like, "What the fuck is a casserole?" Like Hawaii doesn't know, casserole doesn't exist in that.
Yeah, but they eat spam sushi.
This is true.
It is good. Musubi. It's amazing.
What? Tell me more with the spam sushi.
It's musubi. So at the bottom of it is like a piece of spam that's cut in an oval. Well, not an oval. It's like, what do you call a thing? It's
Like a-
kind of like a rectangular, but
I
with
know, I'm
rounded
like, what do you
edges.
call that?
Something. And then on top of it is the perfect rice, like sticky rice, that's shaped exactly the same, and it's wrapped in seaweed.
I probably like it, to be
It's
honest.
really fucking good. You can buy it 7-Eleven.
Salty.
Like
It's a
I
good
love
place to buy your
Right?
100%. You can buy it everywhere.
You know I'm a redneck. I'm going to get my sushi on at the 7-Eleven.
You can also buy spam at McDonald's in Hawaii.
What?
You know how they have the big breakfast
I did
here?
not know that.
It's spam is one of the things you can have in
That's
your
hilarious.
Hawaiian big breakfast.
Yum.
I got to go to Hawaii.
They also have taro pies.
Gotta try the spam.
Is that what you
I like
guys got for your wedding?
What, spam? No.
I love Hawaii. We could have a whole podcast.
I know. We should.
Oh,
Right, we have like a luau.
yeah. Let's have a luau podcast in the future.
Fun.
And have some good drinks.
Yes.
Coastal Spritz.
We were,
Coastal
we were dancing.
We could somehow make Coastal Spritz into God, what is the drink, the big drink there? I'm blanking.
Fishbowl?
A blue Hawaiian.
Like at what's the chain? Duke's. What are they known for? Oh God.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. I had one, a Mai Tai.
Yes, a Mai Tai.
yeah, yeah,
Jesus. I'm sure we could change this watermelon one into a Mai Tai somehow.
Ooh, that
Or the pineapple one.
We just put a couple different kinds of rum in it.
Yes.
We put a light rum with a dark rum float.
Yes.
See?
Transformed it.
Let's do it.
Y'all know how to potty.
Hell yeah.
Got a bar upstairs, you know.
Lee, you got a funny question?
Let's see. Let's see. Oh, obscure talent.
Oh.
Have an obscure talent.
Well, none.
I can twerk while in a split. I'm just kidding.
I dropped down now.
I
Like,
know, right? We have to see the proof.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Olivia can fire spin.
Spinning, twerking.
God, I can't measure up here. Falling short.
I can.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't roll my tongue at all. I can't whistle either.
Oh,
So-
I can whistle really well.
We have 2 non-whistlers in the room. Oh, my God.
I don't know.
I
if
think
it's
I'm
a
too
talent.
tongue-tied.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think my mouth is malformed.
You have a deformity.
Do you have a talent that I don't know about?
I can't say I have a talent you don't know about. I can do some tongue tricks. I'm not sure.
Oh. Who should we
I
invite
guess
to
it
talk
sounds
about
bad.
this?
I don't know. Maybe,
Can you tie a knot with
Kidding.
the cherry like stem?
No, I mean maybe if I really tried. I, as a kid, was always known for like touching my tongue to my nose.
She's doing it right now, folks.
Oh, I can't do it.
Can't do it anymore.
Like the clover. Or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah, the way one.
I don't know. Nothing. Nothing too exciting, I guess.
I literally have no hidden.
Fart noises with your armpit?
I
Come on,
can
you can do
fart
that.
noises in my armpit. I can do that.
I'll think of something better when I leave.
Yeah, I know. As soon as we leave, I'm gonna be like,
Yeah, that's always been called the wind beneath my wings.
Did you ever know that you're my hero? No.
All right, Lee. Give it to us, Lee. Give it to us.
Okay, today I'm going to give it to you inverted. Okay. A summer amusement turned into a serious nightmare on July 3rd after a roller coaster malfunctioned in midair, trapping 8 passengers upside down for several hours.
Oh, my
The oscillating fireball was just sliding down from its vertical loop.
Oscillating fireball. Yikes.
That sounds like a mixed drink, doesn't it?
Sounds like a sex position.
now I can't.
I'm not going to say a word. I'm the only male in this room. I would be, I'll be in trouble if I say anything. It was at the Forest County Festival in Camden, Wisconsin. Yeah, up there in Dairy Country.
They were eating cheese.
I know they were incurred.
It stopped unexpectedly because of mechanical failure, according to a press release from the local fire department rescue squad. Emergency personnel were dispatched within 15 minutes, but needed to request special equipment. It's like one truck with the capability of rising over 100 feet took approximately 45 minutes to arrive on the scene,
Oh, my God.
and several hours to bring everyone down safely.
Oh, my
Can I actually
God.
tell you a similar story?
Oh no, not a
No, you
park.
can't.
When I was a kid, I went to the Italian festival in upstate New York,
Yeah.
and I was with my friend Mary, and I miss her. Shout out Mary if you're listening. She's probably not, but we went on a ride, and it was a fair ride because you know the fair rides are like
Oh my
cheap,
God.
and they bring them in on trucks. The ride would not stop spinning, and we were spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning, and we got so sick, and we were bawling.
God.
We're like, "Ugh," like it was
sounds
awful.
horrible.
They finally got it to stop. I got off the ride and just passed out in the middle of the road, and people were like walking over me. And my
my
stepdad
God.
picks me up, and he carries me over to like the EMTs that were there, and I got put in an ambulance, and then. I'm not gonna say I love Mary. I don't want to like say the whole story, but we both got in the ambulance, and they took us to the hospital, and I puked my brains out when I got there, and I was fine. But like they thought there was something really, really wrong with me. But thankfully, it was just
Oh, my
I needed to
God.
Extreme
puke.
vertigo.
That's horrible.
Oh
It
yeah.
was awful.
Amy and I went to the fair, my best friend for years, and we were on the apple turnover one that like
Yep.
goes and then also goes upside down. And as we're starting off, she's like, "Oh, by the way, I'm not really hooked in." And like our bar could move, and like luckily I was closer to that side, so I was like, all right, I think I'm gonna stay in. But like the whole time we kept going over, I was like, oh fuck, one of us is gonna fall out of here.
We're dying.
But we survived.
I don't have any mishaps with those. The funniest thing when it comes to like carnival rides is when I lived in Hawaii, on Marine Corps base, and they always have this like big thing every year, you know, with all these like carny rides come in. So my best friend shows up at the door with a bottle of tequila, and she's like, we're doing shots, and then we're going to the carnival. So
Sounds like
I
a
remember
good friend.
the whole time we're like, puke rides. We're like trying to ride the rides until we like, blitzed on tequila.
Yeah.
Like way like.
Like, how did they let us into this carnival?
Probably shouldn't have, right? It was bad, but anyway.
Well, I had one. It's like it's the same ride. It's in every place, but it has different names. At this one park, it was called the Oaken Bucket. You stand against the wall, and it spins.
Oh, yep.
And you're
Yes.
stuck.
Oh, yeah,
You're stuck to the wall.
Gravity.
A buddy of mine, he was over. We were watching. He threw up, but it stuck to the wall.
Oh my god!
Good though.
It's like
At least it didn't fly around the room and hit
guy-
everyone in the face.
the guy didn't want to stop the ride because as soon as he did, he had to.
Those were
Cleaned it up.
Okay, I have to say, the kids these days don't know how wild it was because there was no rules on that ride.
Nope.
No.
There was no seatbelts.
Nope.
Oh my God!
Lane
People
side.
were like on top of each other making out, or there'd be like
wanted to
people
do that.
like one at the bottom, one at the top of the thing when it slid up. Like it was crazy.
People were
Crazy.
making love.
They were. The gravity was working on that one.
Y'all said something earlier that made me think of. It's like, there was a report of some guy who died while mountain climbing, and his parents said, "Well, at least he died doing what he loved." And I'm like, I hope they never say that about me. It's like Lee died doing what he loved. His poor wife.
I hope that's how my husband goes.
Not a bad way.
Honey.
No, I want to
wake
die
up.
first because I can't survive without my husband doing stuff.
I
for
don't
me.
have a husband yet.
All right, I think it's time for everyone's favorite game. If you guys don't know, it's Guess Lee's name. Lee is, in fact, his middle name, not his first.
Also, side note, I had the chance to see it today because I made Lee's logo, and he was like, "Oh crap, I have to sign my real name," and I'm like, I am not going to look because in spirit of the podcast, I cannot cheat. So I did not look when I cashed my online check.
All right.
Wow.
So I still don't know it.
Okay, so you
we
guys
all
really
get
don't know
three.
it.
We all get three guesses. We're going in a round robin.
Okay.
Okay.
Who wants
really
to go
don't know.
first?
And you'll actually tell us if somebody gets it,
Yep,
right?
yep.
Absolutely.
Yes.
In fact,
Well, we kind of hope no one gets it.
Oh,
But if
and
you
Lee-
do get it, then you win a $25 gift card. The only caveat is we ask that you spend it at a local Richmond business.
I
have
love
the
that.
applause button
No
ready.
chains.
Oh yeah.
Can I ask a question? Does
Yes.
it have anything to do with Lee? Like, is Lee a nickname? A
Lee
short
is just
form?
like a beautiful segue into his last name, like a
Yes.
middle name, like
Okay.
Marianne.
Okay,
you know?
so we could really be anything here.
Yeah.
Could
Okay.
be.
Wow. All right.
I'm going to have to generate a list because we've gone through all the really strange, exotic English romance stories.
right.
Liz, we have. Yeah.
You're like stretching every
I
week.
know, I'm
I
like,
think you've guessed Bartholomew and Reginald twice.
I'm going to ask something crazy this time.
like it.
Don't worry.
All right.
So I've just untangled my necklace. My hair was stuck in it, so that's what I've been doing for the past hour.
I don't have that problem.
I feel like we need a list of previous set.
Yeah.
I know we do. We'll do it. We'll do it next time.
But you guys just go crazy.
Winston.
Ooh,
No.
Norman.
Nope.
Kunta Kinte.
No.
Richard.
No.
You asked that before.
He thought about that though.
Eric.
We gotta go.
I will say this. They know this isn't a spoiler. It's unusual.
Oh, it is okay. It's not a normal
How many
name.
syllables?
Sounds like.
Act it out. Okay, how about Wellington?
No.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that sounds like one of Liz's. She went to Manchester, England. She's
Yeah. Darth.
Nope.
Saul.
No. But you better call him.
Let's go with Garth.
Oh.
No.
Okay. Let me take a good look at you.
Take a good look.
Xavier.
Nope.
Ernst.
No.
Ernest.
No.
Cornelius.
No. Hey. That'd be, yeah.
Oh, this is the last round.
slash
by the way.
fight
last
Fight
round.
Club and Planet of the Apes.
There you go.
Ooh, come on. I don't know. Redmond.
Ooh.
Is this
Yeah.
that it or that? No, we got
That's
one
it.
more.
Oh, that's it.
We've done. You guys actually did.
So you've
4.
done 14
Oh.
podcasts at 3 guesses each, and no one's ever guessed it.
Nope.
Nope.
That's how crazy.
Do
it
you
is.
not love your first name? Is that why you go by Lee instead? Or is it just hard to say?
Well, here's the true story. After I finished my junior year of high school, my family moved back to Richmond. We lived in North Carolina, and I said, "Okay, I'm going to have a whole new start in life because going by my first name, see, no one dates that guy."
that.
When I started going by my middle name, I immediately got more popular.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like
okay.
It's like for some reason I played guitar, and it's like I was in a rock band, and it's like for some reason that name doesn't look very rock.
I like it.
It's like, but yeah, it's like yeah, it changed my life going by my middle name.
Okay.
So there's something to be said about going by your middle name. I also had a new start at life, we'll call it. I switched elementary schools which fed into a different middle school, all these things. So I am Taylor Alexis. I went by Alexis when I moved. So I joke I was Alexis Hatfield for end of elementary through high school, and then went to college. I was Taylor Hatfield, now Taylor Patera. So I joke that there's 2 versions of me out there because they have totally different names.
You
Yeah.
want to know what's funny? The girl in the ambulance with me, my friend Mary, she herself, and when she was a little kid, she was Mary Kate. And then when she went to high
was
school, she was
Ashley?
like, I am not. She's like, I am not Mary Kate. I am Mary.
Just married.
Yeah, a little fact.
But I still love her and I missed her. I'm Mary.
Next month will be my 35th wedding anniversary. My wife has never called me by my first name,
Wow.
except when she was admitting me
You're
to
in
the hospital.
trouble.
Right. When she has
Except
to.
on your deathbed when you do your wife and you die.
I'll say, "What did you say? What'd you call me?"
No, you'll say, "Come again." Ba-dum-tsh.
All right.
All right. Well, I think that brings us to our ending. I just want to shout out to anyone who's looking for recording needs. Please come on down to Lee Dungeon Studios. He's willing to help with anything you'd like, audio,
Visual. Just audio.
Just audio, yes. But if you want to make a CD for someone, or perhaps just record something for
Or
fun,
you want to play some music with Lee. He loves playing music.
jam,
If
man.
you're nice, if you're not a crazy religious evangelist.
A zealot.
You might be listening.
If you praise Lord Satan, come on down. No, I'm just kidding.
Lee, worship Satan in this dungeon. I'm just kidding. Yeah, but shout out to Lee Dungeon Studios. He is yours, except on Thursdays because he is off.
Ours that evening.
And
And
then-
other shout outs we have, I gotta
Wear
give it up for Wear RVA, duh. Also for
Curated chaos.
yes, Curated Chaos. Curated Chaos. The Jefferson, I believe we
Coastal
shouted them out.
Spritz,
Coastal Spritz. Hells to the yes.
who's sponsoring our drinkage for this podcast.
Yes. Woohoo. I know.
Always shout out the person who buys your drinks.
Yes.
100%.
Anywhere else, peeps?
And design?
Oh yeah, I do graphic design work. I feel weird shouting myself out on my podcast, but I do graphic design work. O Designs. I'm on Facebook, or just Olivia Elaine Hoover.
I'll shout you out. Yeah,
Yeah, Lee can shout me out.
Because my business cards and my logo she did, and to go on there, it captures me perfectly. Looks just like me.
And if you have O Lala business cards, if
yeah,
you've been
I
lucky enough to get one, she designed those.
I'm the graphic designer of O Lala and all of our graphics. I love to make them, so if you need a graphic designer or some web design, I'm your girl.
Word. I'd also like to shout out an event that's coming up this weekend. If you haven't gotten tickets, it's called Positively Delicious. It's by the Positive Vibe Foundation. They are a great community organization that gives back. So check them out. Go to Positively Delicious Saturday night over at the Faison Center near Markel. There's going to be at least 6 or 8 like celebrity chefs, some of them from here, some from out of state. There's going to be some specialty cocktails and some food and stuff. And just go online, check it out, and give back to the community and come eat and drink with me. Get drunk, yada, yada.
Amber and Taylor, do you have anyone to shout out?
Oh gosh, put us on the spot.
Just shout out yourselves if you want.
Shout it out.
One last time.
Go ahead, Amber.
What am I shouting out?
Yourself.
Just hey, it's Amber K.
Hey, it's Amber
Hey, it's Amber K.
It's Taylor Patera. And you're watching Disney Channel. No,
Well, thank you guys. We had so much fun.
This was awesome.
All right, everybody.
come
It's,
back.
Oh,
We will.
please.
we gonna have you
I
ladies
live
back.
like 5 minutes from here.
Oh, sweet.
Yes.
What? Oh.
I could
Awesome.
walk here if I
So
wanted.
I could too.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we're in the neighborhood.
Yep.
I could bike, but I would die.
All
probably.
good in the neighborhood.
So,
Don't do that.
yeah. All right, ladies and gent, we shall see you next time. Signing it off.
Peace out, Girl Scouts.
Peace and chicken grease. What?
All right.